she said once more. Her voice came crashing through the silence in concentric, condescending circles, filling the space and corrupting the air. But I was ready. The war room in my mind was thick and lit with heavy red light, stale coffee, testosterone, and hope. Two of the generals, poised over an improbably complicated suitcase, looked at each other and nodded. "God forgive us," said one of the generals in his American accent, and the two of them inserted their keys and turned clockwise to armed in perfect synchronicity. Gases collided, expanded, and were ignited, forming breath in my lungs as sinews and synapses snapped and formed a rumbling in my voice box. My breath surged up and exploded out of my mouth, carrying with it my payload answer. "I agree," I said. The war room erupted in a frenzy of triumphant humours. Champagne was popped, fives were high, and cigars were lit. As I stood there, plump-chested in the glory of brazen ego. "Wait!" screeched an intern from the audio-linguistics department of my mind. "I'm picking up a signal." The room came to a thunderously quiet pause. "It's very faint," said the intern. "Put it on the big screen," barked the American general. The intern tried to focus the signal. Dials were dialed, switches were switched. And expressions of concentration expressed. Slowly the crackle and hum turned into words and understanding, and the message was deciphered. "Agree?" began the transmission before revealing its full and hideous self. "Agree with what?" she had said. Glory, realizing its shift was now well and truly finished, hastily gathered its clothes and exited. Blind panic then entered to begin its shift. Fives were unhide, cigars were unlit, and champagne was uncorked. Or rather, the champagne was recorked, because if you uncork champagne, you're just opening more champagne. "What do we do now?" was generally panicked by panicking generals. "Maybe," began a bodiless voice from the shadows. I asked her to repeat the question. Instant, piercing silence. "We have only one course of action left," began the general in his accent. "Computer," Irish American, "computer, activate the self-destruct sequence." "Wait!" cried an intern from my mind's disaster avoidance department. "We have a contingency for this. I wrote it. It's on that piece of paper." And in that moment I became acutely aware of two things. One, I now knew exactly what I needed to say. And two, I think a lot of my problems in life stem from the fact that my subconscious seems to be governed by incompetent generals and interns.